My review of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. I'm going to go on tangents, and the first one is that my depression over this movie being so terrible is pretty much over. And I think I'm able to actually enjoy it just because I can actually enjoy this movie just because I've prepared myself for the absolute worst. I'm half an hour in, and it's really not that bad. And also, I'm actually, you know what? Disney put $200 million, whatever, more money into making this movie for me to watch for free because I downloaded it off Pirate Bay. So I can't be that bitter. I mean, these guys are suckers. They're putting all this. I mean, it's not all sunshine over there at Disney. Yeah, they got billions of dollars, but they're spending it to make movies for losers like me who just watch them for free. So it's not so. And on the other hand, it's not so bad being me because I don't have to put any work in and I get to watch this shit. I mean, the depression was due to the fact that I wanted to see them fail, but I didn't want to see them fail like this badly. It's kind of like if your arch nemesis, they get reduced to being shivering and naked and cowering in a corner in the fetal position, and you're like, oh, I didn't want to see you get that destroyed. Jeez, I'm not that evil. And that's kind of how I feel the state of Star Wars, Disney Star Wars. That's the case they're in right now. So half an hour in, it's already wonderful to see Palpatine, no matter what. I don't care what he's doing, it's awesome. It's pretty well paced. Half an hour in, I don't have any complaints really. Leia, clearly, it looks like she's just, she's not engaging. She's just saying, oh, okay, yeah, all right. They just cut to her saying shit like that, and they put her in the story, and it's just ridiculous. Oh, so spoilers, of course. Always spoilers with me. Lando shows up, and already in one scene, he had more lines, I think, than Luke and Leia put together, which is pretty funny to me because you had Luke. You could have done stuff. You had Leia. But now it's too late. Only at the end do they understand that, so now they're trying to, I think they're going to use Lando a lot. He's probably going to have 10 times more, movie time, screen time than Luke and Leia and Han put together. And that's just too funny. Yeah, and already, I mean, I expected the worst. But yeah, like, she gives Leia his Luke Skywalker, Rey. She goes, I'll come back for it when I deserve it. And then 2 minutes later, Leia gives it back to her. It's like, oh, I guess she deserves it already. So that kind of killed the drama of giving it to her. And in the first place, she just gets it right back. And then basically the Emperor is basically saying to Kylo Ren, you will bring her to, she will come to you, and then you will bring her before me. And we can turn her to the dark side. So that element is just total Return of the Jedi. It's nice to see Rey and Finn, even though I don't like them. How could I like them? I never got to know them. The three of them are together on the Millennium Falcon, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. So we can see some banter, we can see some friendship grow. I'm like, what? In the last episode of the whole thing. Oh, and the Knights of Ren show up, and a stormtrooper says to his stormtrooper friend, he goes, whoa, the Knights of Ren, cool. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty funny. That's good, sure. But then it's like, yeah, but wait a minute. This is Star Wars. This isn't like a parody of Star Wars. I mean, you can't make jokes like that. Like, it's like saying, Palpatine, aren't you like 500 years old? You're old enough you're older than, oh, geez, Palpatine. You're more wrinkly than a prune. It might be funny. They might be funny jokes, but it's not the right place. And I just have to say, half an hour in, it's already better than The Last Jedi, that's for sure. In fact, I'd even say it's equal to Force Awakens because, if it's a retread, fine. Otherwise, like, Force Awakens was fine if you understand that it's just a copy of A New Hope. Which is why I hated it. But once you get over that hump, if I had gone into that movie knowing it was just, and they said this is a remake of A New Hope, I would have been like, oh, that was pretty good. Just to clarify, making a remake of A New Hope is a terrible idea and pathetic. So I would say, yeah, it's pretty good for a remake of A New Hope, but they did a pretty good job of doing an absolute shit movie. So when I say pretty good, I don't mean pretty good, period. And then that line where they can fly now, and then Poe goes, "They can fly now." It's just a cliche kind of joke. It works, I guess. It's just that it's just symptomatic of the whole thing, the whole problem with the disease, which is that this is a generic kind of movie, right? None of the jokes are like, "Oh, that was killer." And it reminds me of that scene in Iron Man where Iron Man goes, I can fly now," and I wonder if they just copied it from that. Compare that joke. They can fly now. They can fly now. They can fly now. Hey, they can fly now. Compare that joke to a good joke, which, for example, Endgame, when Captain America grabs Thor's axe, and Thor looks at him and goes, No, give me that. I'll take the little one. See, that was clever. That was funny. That's a killer joke. And there's killer jokes in Infinity War and Endgame. Compare that to this shit. Or when Thor's mother tells him to eat a salad. That was pretty good. And while I'm making these comparisons, there are no times in Endgame or Infinity War where there's a joke at Thanos' expense, where they make fun of him. I guess I will blow that nutsack of a chin off your face is at his expense. But he's not laughing, and it doesn't take away from the doom of the scene. Oh, also, they lead up to the whole Rey thing about her identity, her last name, by at the beginning foreshadowing it by someone saying, "Yeah, what's your last name?" And she's like, "Just Rey. I don't have a last name." So, see, J.J. Abrams knows the cookie cutter way to write a story, a Hollywood story, which is better than what you can't say that about Rian Johnson. So, and again, Rian Johnson's the bottom of the barrel, but at least J.J. Abrams is not as bad as Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson doesn't know how to do things like foreshadowing. I mean, foreshadowing is something you learn in grade 9 in fucking writing class. It's the easiest thing. It's not complex. It's not rocket science. But come to think of it, I wonder if there was any foreshadowing at all in The Last Jedi. I'm thinking about it. I'm stopping and thinking for a second. I don't think he did. He had themes like that, there's no good and there's no evil that were ongoing. But in order for it to be foreshadowing, there has to be a big development in the thing that is being foreshadowed. Finally, it has to be something big has to happen. Right. So I don't think there's any foreshadowing in The Last Jedi. I wonder if there's any writing skills at all in that movie. I mean, there isn't a climax, gimmicks or tactics. There's writing skill, writing trade tricks of the trade. There's no climax. There's no build-up. No character development. No overarching theme. One overarching theme. No MacGuffin. No... Yeah, I don't think there's anything in that movie. Oh, and regarding some interview where Rian Johnson recently said he doesn't think that a movie maker should make movies for the fans. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. I might agree with you. Maybe a movie maker should make the best movie he should make. I don't know. But the point, though, that I'm concerned with is that you made a shit movie. And that's regardless of whether you made it for the fans or for yourself. It was just a shit movie. That was the end result. So who gives a fuck whether you made it, why you made it? I mean, you could make it for your dog if you want. And if it's a great movie, I'll love it because it's a great movie. I don't, it's neither here nor there, asshole. You're going to participate in art criticism now? You're not even an artist. Make up your mind. What are you fucking voicing opinions about art criticism now? I've noticed this in the original not the original, J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. Everybody's always running somewhere. Everybody's always in a rush and running. Always action going on. And I almost think J.J. Abrams is afraid. His motto is, somebody always has to be chasing somebody. They can never just be sitting there. And if they are, just have it be for a minute, because then there's chase happens. Then I can understand that, but it's there's nothing more to him than that. It's that's the main idea and nothing else. Okay, so in a way this is kind of like a commentary while I watch it. It's 31 minutes, they just fell into quicksand and they all go into the quicksand, right? And it's fun to see if my predictions come true. So I think that Rey's going to levitate them all out of the quicksand. We'll see if that's what happens. Okay, thank God my prediction was wrong, because that would have been just lame. Because I guess Rey can just... And then the question is, like, why didn't she? Because she can, like, lift anything. She can lift boulders. So hence the problem, right? Because this is a pirated copy, I can't hear everything they're saying, and it doesn't really matter. I think most of it is just stupid jokes between them in terms of Rey and Finn and Poe. But they fell through this quicksand, and then they fell into a tunnel, and it happens to seem to be an important place where they're going to find their MacGuffin. And I'm wondering, was that an accident? Because that's pretty convenient, isn't it? And I think J.J. Abrams is a big convenience writer, right? Like, this needs to happen now, so just have, whatever. It'll just lead to that randomly, by accident. Although I don't know where they were going, because I don't really care, and maybe I didn't hear it, and I don't think it really matters. They were just going away from the stormtroopers, going in a direction. I don't know if they knew where they were going, or if they were just fleeing. So I don't know if their intent... My point here is that I don't know if they're intentionally where they are, or if it's just an accident. In the cave, Rey uses her lightsaber like a torch, to like a nightlight, like a flashlight. I think there's a problem with that. I think that's not the way to show a lightsaber. Yeah, like a nightlight. Does she use it when she goes to sleep? If she's reading a book, does she turn the lightsaber on and prop it up while she reads? Is that how she read the Jedi texts at nighttime? Or do you just use a lightsaber willy-nilly, like anytime convenient? Like if you're having a dinner party and you need to cut, some steaks up, do you use the lightsaber for that? If you're chopping wood, it kind of eliminates every other tool that you'll ever need. A lot of them anyways. If you need to drill a big hole. And if you're going to use your lightsaber as a flashlight, you might want to tell the people you're with to be really careful not to touch it. Because, it's a big thing, right? It's a big lightsaber. You could, accidentally walk by it the wrong way or, And the idea of a Sith dagger really pisses me off, just because the Sith use lightsabers. The idea of a dagger is just redundant. You wouldn't need, a physical dagger. If it was a Sith dagger, it would be like a little lightsaber, with a little 1 foot, half a foot blade. So she just healed a giant snake with the Force, and I think that is another example of foreshadowing, or of the theme that's going to be ongoing of healing. They're introducing, it is foreshadowing, the idea of healing, and that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. And I'm not going to comment on everything from here on in. I'm just going to comment when I think I've got something interesting to say. So it looks like there's 6 Knights of Ren. And I don't think they're going to ever answer this, but I always wanted to know, not because I like the Knights of Ren, but I just want to know who the fuck they are. Were they Jedis? Are they followers of Kylo Ren, or are they just a bunch of Rens? Was Kylo originally one of the Knights of Ren, and then he just became Kylo? Was he just another one of them, or was he the leader of them? And they don't have lightsabers. Why don't they have lightsabers? Obviously, they were never Jedi. So what the fuck are they? Were they former students of Luke or not? And you know what? If they were former students and Jedis under Luke, that would be cool. And it would be cool to have that be a major story. That could have been episode 8. It could have been the Knights of Ren. That could have been the whole fucking movie. That would have been wonderful, wouldn't it? You got Rey going up against 7 Knights of Ren, and Luke has to help her, and be like, this is hopeless. So now our heroes are climbing rocks. They're climbing up a mountain. And I'm thinking, okay, so J.J. Abrams is like, let's just give every terrain. So they fall through quicksand, they go through a cave, then they climb up a mountain. I wouldn't be surprised if they're swimming sometime later. We're just going to have every possible, terrain. And that's not a complaint. It's a good idea, in fact. At 37 minutes, the pacing is, I wouldn't say excellent, but it's good. And that doesn't make it a good movie, but it's got good pacing. And Rian Johnson is the worst at pacing that I've ever seen. And I first realized that when I saw Looper. And that my first thought when he got Last Jedi was, oh shit, he's terrible at pacing. Or shall we can call it momentum, pacing, building as we go. So you know when the end is, you know when the beginning is, you know when the middle is. You know that scene in X-Men First Class where Magneto, well, he's done that many times, where he lifts a boat up into the air? Well, Ray's doing that with a spaceship, and so it's just Magneto. And then I've been wondering, why do we even need Finn and Poe here? They're not necessary. Ray can do everything. You don't need Finn and Poe. What use are they? They're just baggage. They're just going to slow her down. And that reminds me, another reason why the Force powers should be used very sparingly in these movies is because they're being ambiguous as to how they work. And if you're going to be like that, you don't want to use them too often. Because then they can answer every problem. Isn't it weird that Ray and Ren's name are almost the same? It's like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So they should bring in a third one, like Ray, Ren, and Rep. So she uses Force lightning accidentally. And again, like, you can't always use the Force all the fucking time in the movie, because then it's just like, okay, so now we know that Force lightning can be accidentally used. It's not like an example of like extreme powerful like concentration and ability, or like conscious like you're consciously using the Force. No, you could just accidentally like be taking a shit. You could Force lightning like something. And then the TIE fighters, there's 2 TIE fighters hauling the Millennium Falcon through space with wires. Kind of like in the episode of the Force Awakens when there was a TIE fighter like hooked up by a cable and they were trying to fly away, but they were tied up to the Star Destroyer or whatever the hell. Well, I mean, don't they have tractor beams for that? Why would you need to use cables to tow a ship if you've got a tractor beam? Again, like, you bring in new things, you fuck up the continuity of the whole thing. I'm not saying new things, period, Rian Johnson, or whoever. Just like, you don't need to be that innovative. You don't be innovative with the plot, not with like, all of a sudden all the Jedis can do Force healing. I'm already predicting that this movie is going to be my favorite of the sequel trilogy, where I would give episode 7 a 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10. I would get episode 8 a 1 out of 10, and I might give this like a 4 out of 10. Yeah, so it's not saying much, but I mean, at least I'm not seeing A New Hope all over again, and at least I knew what I was getting into. The Force Awakens it awakened me to the surprise that they were doing a remake. They were doing fraud. They were doing plagiarism. Last Jedi awakened me to the fact that they're going to make Luke milk a cow. At least I'm not going to see Luke milking a cow in this. And Emperor Palpatine, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be, he's not going to have his hand up his ass. This is actually the experience I had with The Last Jedi the first time I watched it, where I was actually pleasantly surprised, because I was so prepared for the absolute hell, that it didn't bother me. I was like, that's not so bad. And that's how I'm feeling now, because I was really ready for, to see the worst. I already knew Luke was going to milk a cow before I saw The Last Jedi, so, it wasn't so bad. It doesn't mean it wasn't a bad movie, it just means I prepared myself. I wasn't expecting Star Wars. So I think my advice to anybody who's like me, a big Star Wars fan who's really upset about this trilogy, is that go into this expecting nothing, and it won't be so bad. I'm actually enjoying it, in context, considering everything I've been through with this bullshit. It's probably Stockholm Syndrome, where, like, I've got no choice but to love the person who's molesting me, because they've just hurt me so much that I'm starting to lose. That could be the case. I'm not sure. And, a lot of the people who watch this movie said they have a lot to process before they can actually say. And I've had that experience with movies where I'm like, after I see it, I got to think about this a little bit. I forget which movies made me feel like that, but I think V for Vendetta, it was like that. I can't think of any examples, but I don't think I'm going to have a problem processing this movie after I watch it, especially because I've seen all the spoilers already, heard all the spoilers. I think it's the best they could have done with what they had, is basically what I'm saying. I mean, it's the best movie so far. It's the best movie it could have been with where they had, where they could have started after The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Nobody could have done much better. If they're trying to make a serious Star Wars Episode 9, like try to do it with seriousness without making fun of it, not turning it into a complete sham or a parody. So far, it's the best they could have done. And it's something I did not predict. I did not predict that I would actually be depressed that The Rise of Skywalker was being so ridiculed and mocked and such an embarrassment. I thought I'd be more joyous than anyone. I'm a really bitter person, but I was depressed that it was being put down so much, like that much. And I never would have predicted that I'd actually enjoy seeing it be okay of a movie. Like, it's not that bad, like that I'd actually enjoy. To be honest, I'm actually enjoying watching this. I never would have predicted that. And I don't think that means that I feel great about the whole thing. Or Disney. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I'm pretty sure I'm done. I'm pretty sure I want to mock them and kick them in the balls any chance I get. And maybe I'm not smart of me to be saying good things about it. But I don't know. It's too close to my heart, Star Wars. So, any opportunity to see Palpatine, to see Chewie, even to see Rey, knowing that she met Luke, even to see her, like, I guess I still want to see this movie do good, even though I don't, even though I'm a hater. Deep down, I guess I wish it was good, and I'm happy when it does good. I guess the Phantom Menace isn't as hateful as everybody says they are. Yeah, it just occurred to me that, despite me being very aligned with all the ideas of the Phantom Menace, it's never occurred to me once so far in 47 minutes. I just realized I never was like, oh, what a dumb bitch. Oh, it shouldn't have been a female. Or, oh, Finn's black. Lando's black. Oh God, dykey shit. And actually, it's never occurred to me, when is the dykey shit coming? Like, it's really not on my agenda whether men are represented enough or there's enough white men. It didn't occur to me once. My guard is down. I'm not like, I'm not watching this. I'm sure bad shit's gonna happen according to how bad the reviews are and everything, but as of yet, I'm just simply enjoying the movie. I haven't made any real, I haven't felt any anger, and I haven't had any negative thoughts, like, oh shit, oh God, yeah, of course the man's looking stupid now. None of that has happened yet. And that's nice. That's kind of refreshing. Like, I remember when I saw The Force Awakens in the theater, and I was just like, easily in the first 45 minutes, probably in the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck Darth Vader wannabe. Fucking jerking off to Darth Vader's helmet. And, oh yeah, of course, another R2-D2, a little round one this time. It was just, I was disgusted very early into that stupid movie. But this one, I'm 47 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm not thinking, oh, fuck you. I haven't thought that really yet. And, I'm just going to come clean to everybody. I created the Phantom Menace. I was behind. I orchestrated all of it. It all worked according to my design. I am the Emperor of the Phantom Menace. I am the Phantom Menace. I am the menace behind the Phantom Menace. All that happened according to my design behind the Phantom Menace. I was standing behind you when you were bringing him before me. And it was my design. So they just brought in a new little droid that's even smaller than BB-8, and I'm like, that's cute. That's fine. See, everything is fine in when used wisely, and that's okay. I don't mind a new character that's interesting and fun. I do mind 10 characters that are not interesting and they're not fun, which harkens back to my main point, which is you have to be good. Just don't suck. Rian Johnson sucked. I don't care if he says that people didn't like, whatever, all his bullshit about why they don't like his movie. I don't like your movie because it sucks. It's fucking boring. That's all. And my current thoughts are, it was actually kind of smart to bring the Emperor back. In that was kind of the only way to repair The Last Jedi. In so much as that. It was a big mistake to introduce Snoke. I've always hated Snoke. A lot of people say Snoke was a good idea. I thought he was ridiculous. He was just a clone. He was a copy of the Emperor. He was so stupid. He sucked. So to bring the Emperor back, well, yeah. That he orchestrated everything, sure. And that he didn't die, well, he failed, though, in Episode 6. I mean, you could make this work. That Emperor... I know it's not going to work. And obviously this I'm being optimistic, and I'm enjoying what I can from this. And it kind of works that the Emperor would create a phantom menace. A phantom menace being Snoke. Because that goes in that's in character for him, to create a puppet. So it works so far, and so far I like this movie. It doesn't mean I would pay for it, and it doesn't mean that I want to suck Mickey Mouse's balls. And when I watch these movies that are pirated in their cam videos, I often say, people have a right to say, well, you didn't really watch the movie if you can't hear half the shit they're saying. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I can't say that I hated the movie if I didn't hear it. But I'm only hearing half the fucking dialogue this time around with this movie, and I'm saying I like it. So I guess that kind of puts into perspective that a cam video doesn't necessarily mean that you haven't seen, some of what they have to offer. And to put things in perspective further, I'm enjoying this a lot. I would watch this right now at the first viewing anyways, much more than I would watch The Mandalorian. I mean, this is way more entertaining. The Blandalorian, the Blandasnorian. I wonder if I'm the first one who thought of that one. I'm going to look that up. The Blandasnorian. Turns out I think I just invented that word. So take it, if you hear this, take it, use it before I will, because I will. The Blandasnorian. I'm a bit confused why I like this movie. Because I'm not supposed to, according to the way I think. But I realize what it might be. It might be that because I'm only hearing half the dialogue, I'm not getting annoyed at it. And what's interesting about that is that maybe it's the dialogue that ruins the movie, but also that maybe the visual pacing and everything else of the movie is good. That could be the case. George Lucas originally said that Star Wars should work as a silent film. And I've always, for over 20 years, I've studied George Lucas. 20 years ago, I've studied him. And I said that before I even read that he said that. I'm like, a great story should work without dialogue. That should not matter. And yeah, visually, this thing has good, it's going good. I'm going to use the word pacing forever because it's true. It's moving along at a good pace. And you get to see everything you want to see and blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'm missing terrible one-liners that would just be killing it for me. Or maybe I'm drunk. That's always a consideration. But I've never actually hated or loved a movie and then found out the next day that I only liked it or hated it because I was drunk. Usually I'm right, even if I'm drunk. Even if I missed 90%. When I went to see Mad Max Fury Road in the theater with two friends, my one friend loved it. But my other friend, I looked at him halfway through and I'm like, is it just me or does this movie fucking suck? And he goes, yeah, it fucking sucks. And it does suck. It's a terrible movie. Okay, well, this is kind of funny. So this Bliss girl, this something Bliss, Kerry Russell, she's the new character. She's wearing a helmet, right? You can't see her face. Kind of like Princess Leia in Return of the Jedi. And she opens up the visor and you see, oh, whoa, this looks like this could be a hot chick. It's not just a freaky alien. Oh, she's hot. Okay. That's what Poe's thinking. Yeah, the way I would write it would be right then Finn would show up and go, hey, Poe, what's going on? And Poe would go, yeah, Finn, why don't you go find some of those energy cables? So anyways, Bliss, tell me about the mission that you're on. And he's like, oh, she's fucking hot. Yeah, oh, it's a chick. I would be like, hey, so like, Bliss, I want to hear all about your mission. Let's go for a coffee. Can I buy you a coffee? It's conveniently located next to that motel. I was just joking there, and that's not how I would act towards a woman in real life, because I'm a feminist. But that's exactly how Han Solo would have acted. And that's why we love him. He's a scoundrel. He'd be like, I'm going to screw up the whole mission because there's a hot chick here. And, then I would have shown character. But not in this time, not in this climate. One critique I read yesterday by, I think his name is Anomaly. He was like, oh yeah, she says she wants to kill him, and then 1 minute later she wants to invite him, to go on her crusade with her. And that's just so stupid. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just the way these movies work. I mean, that happens all the time in Avengers Endgame, which I think is a masterpiece. Like, people will just bicker just for the sake of drama. And it's obviously ridiculous. Like, they wouldn't be fighting like that for no reason at all. So I won't fault them for that at all. It's fine. It's okay to have bickering just for the sake of, entertaining the crowds. I'm not gonna. It's no way worse than anything Marvel's ever done. I'm totally on board. I'm okay with that. I'll only complain when there's something to complain about. I'd like to also say that, so far, every character in this movie is likable. I enjoy seeing any of them. Rey, I'm enjoying watching her. She's pleasant. She's kind. All of them. Finn, Poe, they're all nice, and I'm having fun watching them. As opposed to, I don't know, where I hated everybody in maybe The Last Jedi, or, I can think of a lot of The Wire or Battlestar Galactica, where all the characters suck and that you just don't like them. I actually like these characters. So I just stopped watching the movie for 4 hours to smoke a lot of weed and drink a lot of alcohol. So that's going to be how I proceed from here. I should note that I was in love with Luke Skywalker and the Emperor since I was 6 years old. That's how, big of a deal it is. As pathetic as that is, it's true. We might also consider that, I'm watching the movie the way it's probably easiest to watch it, on my couch, and, it's a trifle. Whereas if I had to watch the whole movie in the theater, this would probably be a very different experience. It's probably a very good Netflix movie, and you can stop it and you can go smoke weed and drink with your friends and come back and you miss nothing and you can... Fuck you. Fuck them all. Yeah, well, good. That's what you got. You got yourself a Netflix movie. And I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say, but I'll just say it. I would have been happier with... I am happier with a female lead character in the Star Wars sequel trilogy than a black main character. It's so evil. I'm sorry. It's not what I want. I would rather... I can relate more to a... Actually, I guess that's what it really is about. I can relate more to a female white character. Yeah, I guess a female white character than I can to a male black character. So what this stupid movie was it's not bad. What it missed was the ambiguity of the Force. Right? It's supposed to be something we're not sure how it works, but now we know exactly how it works. Now we know everybody can heal everybody and all that. Fuck. So Chewie gets more screen time than Luke Skywalker or Han Solo in this sequel trilogy. I gotta think about that. Isn't that interesting? I think that's very interesting. I can't believe I'm not even halfway through. I will probably fall asleep before I watch this. And that is a good review in and of itself. I did not have the time to finish it. But I like it. I mean, and put that in perspective with the fact that I'm falling asleep at the same time. Yeah, it's fine. I like it. I really do like this movie. And I'm saying that at like halfway through. I'm halfway through the movie. My prediction right now, I think I'm at like an hour. Let's just be sure. Is that it's all going to go to shit from here. We're at like an hour and 4 minutes, and Hux says like, I don't want to win, I just want Kylo Ren to lose. And I'm like, well, where did that come from? So I think it's all going to be shit from here. But I gotta say, as of yet, the first fucking hour of this movie is good. It's really good. Not really good. I mean, just like good compared to what Rian Johnson left everybody. Let me stop this. So I'm watching this scene where Rey's like, oh my god, my grandfather is Palpatine. Like, oh god, what do I do? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, fuck, man, everybody's life is hard. That's what I was saying. I was yelling at the screen. Like, come on, like, you know, it sucks. It sucks all over, okay? Like, get over yourself. Fucking, yeah, it sucks. And then Finn goes to Rey. He goes, you know, Rey, that doesn't sound like you. And I'm thinking, well, how would you know what she sounds like? You haven't seen her in 2 movies. You've had like 2 conversations with her. I think that Rian Johnson was really the big mistake. That was the big one that fucked this whole trilogy up. I mean, otherwise everything would have been fine. Like, this is not bad. This fucking Rise of Skywalker. They're just trying to like fix up all the mistakes. There would not have been mistakes. They didn't hire a mental retard. Fucking retard. Okay, and now there's a scene where Finn is talking to another black person, and they're like, okay, oh yeah, you know, it sucks to be black, you know. And I'm like, what am I watching right now? Wait, so like we're having a little black moment, a black male to a black female. Okay, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just racist. I don't know. But what the fuck is this? Everything stops for a second so that we can have this black moment, I guess. I don't know. And then maybe a lesbian will come screaming through the walls. They also use the music from the goddamn fucking original 3. They use the original music to try to like. It's annoying. But like, fine. I still like the movie. I think it's a good movie. I'm really happy about it. So to put it all into perspective, I'm actually cleaning my room while I'm watching this thing. So I'm not really, you know, it's losing my attention. Come on, like. Okay, so I think I like this movie, and I'm just gonna finish it, and like I'm not gonna bother with this stupid critique. I'm going to just upload it afterwards, but I'm not gonna trouble myself with the tribbles. You fucking tribbles. No, I'm wondering, are they having a funeral for Leia? Did I miss that scene where she gets killed? I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. I'm not really wrong about things very often. So Leia died and nobody cared? Now they're having a funeral for Leia, I think. So I'm like an hour into the movie. Like, I'm more than halfway there. I just watched the interview with Kylo Ren and Han Solo. I like this movie. I can't believe this. And then Lando shows up, and Poe says to him, so how did you do it? How did you do it when, you know, all odds were against you and like it was all fucked? How did you do it? And Lando goes, oh, I don't know, we just did it. But I'm thinking like he should have said, well, we weren't a bunch of pussies like you. Like a bunch of agenda fucks like you. Fuck you. And now we're in 34 minutes in. Fucking Luke shows up as a ghost to give a pep talk. I wouldn't call it anything more than that. I'm really annoyed at that one. Fuck you. I'm gonna stop for the night after I watched Luke Skywalker pull a thing out of the fucking floor, a TIE fighter. Okay, the worst part of the whole movie is Luke Skywalker coming back as a Force ghost. Easily. Worst part. That's why I'm going to sleep right now. I'll finish this tomorrow. Fucking. Ugh. Really? So I flipped forward to try to watch the fucking ending with Palpatine. I just want to see I just want my Palpatine. But they're interspersing it with crap. So like, I just want to go to sleep. I just want to watch the rest of this fucking... The Palpatine. All I want is my Palpatine. Okay, so like, I got a big problem with Emperor Palpatine saying to Rey, I want you to be Empress Palpatine. That's tone deaf. Like, that just falls flat. Shouldn't have said that. Should have said something else. I don't know, but not Empress. Empress Palpatine. I want you to be my little granddaughter that you always should have been. If I had only met you when you were a toddler, I would have christened you and given you oh goddamn, a fucking, not a sombrero, a tiara that said Empress Palpatine. I have foreseen all of this. So now I gotta actually figure out where the Palpatine parts are and where the stupid fucking spaceship fights are. I don't want to watch this the shit. I just want to let's get to the Palpatine parts and let's put this baby to bed. Apparently they want to make me interested in the end of the whole 9 episode saga. That's what this is apparently, right? No, I just want to watch I want to watch my Palpatine. Give me my Palpatine? Okay, so I just woke up and, alright, I think I can vaguely remember Palpatine getting incinerated by Rey. Okay, so, and then Kylo Ren saves Rey, of course, and now I'm at the very end. Whatever, It's good compared to The Last Jedi, I gotta say that. Okay, so Rey, she doesn't bury Luke and Leia's lightsaber with a shovel. She does it with the Force. So she uses the Force to bury it. That's great. And as I said earlier, that's what the Force is now. You use it to flush the toilet after you took a shit. Okay, so it's over. It's them trying to polish a turd. You can't polish a turd, but they did their best. They did. This was the best they could have done, and let's just move on with our lives. I think. I don't know what to say. Couldn't watch it in one sitting. Couldn't watch it sober. Come to think of it, you could actually just watch The Force Awakens and then this one, and you wouldn't miss anything in between. The Last Jedi was nothing in between. I don't think anything happened. Luke died, but how did he even die? It didn't even matter. So, yeah, just watch these 2 movies. Or don't, because nothing really happened in these ones. I don't know. Forgettable stuff. It was nice to see Palpatine. I'm going to edit this sequel trilogy. Just the Luke ghost was horrible. The only thing I would want to revisit in this movie are the Palpatine parts. But even that is a bit hard because he's turned into kind of a, what's the word? Mockery of himself. So I'm not sure I would watch that either. uh, I don't really have any concluding thoughts except I have nothing to process. The movie's shit, but it's the best they could have done, given that they fucked up from day one. So, I guess my final thought is, if you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, Human Warnings, give me